Okay, so my name's Sydney. I'm 14 years old, and today I'm sharing with you my self-harm slash recovery story. Um, this is a really personal thing for me to talk about, and so I'm just sharing it today because I hope somebody will take something from it. And I just hit rock bottom over and over again. And if I can recover, anybody can. Because the extent of my self-harm was so severe, it was insane. And so you can be the worst you can be and still get better. And that's what the point of this video is today. But yeah, so I'm going to share it with you. Well, the year is 2014, obviously, and I started self-harming when I was 10 years old in 2010. And it's kind of hard for me to remember exactly why I started self-harming, but I think the majority of it was I had this terrible body image. Like, I thought I was fat and gross, and I hated my voice and my face, and my body to me was the worst thing in the world. I thought I'd cry myself to sleep every night. Like, God, why would you make me like this? Why would you make me hate myself? And I still feel like that sometimes, a lot of times actually, but I'm really working on it. And yeah, so, but I also, I've been attracted to girls for a very long time, since I was like 7 years old. But when I was 10, I really started recognizing it and tried to accept it. And I hated myself for it, I was like, this isn't normal. I don't want to be like this. And that led to me, self-harming because I couldn't accept who I was. My mom did find out through the school somehow. I don't really know. I guess one of my friends ratted on me, which was probably a good thing, At the time, I was very pissed, but now I see they were just trying to help, and, sorry, and, so I'm glad they did. And my mom promised to put me into therapy, but she never did, which is kind of good because I hate therapy. But yeah, and she was crushed. She was in tears, and I felt terrible. I felt like the worst person in the world for making my mom cry. But so the next year I was in 6th grade. 6th grade went pretty well. I think I only cut a total of 5 times that entire year. Yeah, so that wasn't too bad. But 7th grade was terrible. It was just, I felt like I was ugly, and I was even more gay than I was when I was 10. Like, I was really into girls, and yeah. And I felt like everyone hated me. I couldn't even walk down the hallway at school without feeling like people were staring at me, thinking about how gross I was, and that was terrible for me, and I cut a lot that year. My mom found out again, and of course she was even more crushed because I had lied to her and told her I stopped, and it was awful. And then 8th grade year, which is this year, I can't even put it into words how terrible it was. In October of last year, I was still in 8th grade, but it was last year, 2013, October 24th, I was admitted into a hospital, adolescent psychiatric hospital, for suicidal ideations and severe self-harm. And I was away from my family for 3 weeks, and I felt like I was crazy. It was awful. I can't imagine what that was like for my family. You don't want to go to the psych hospital. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, no. And then I got out and I cut again. And I was readmitted in January. And from October to March of 2014, I was in and out of the hospital. Like, I'd be home for 2 days, and then I'd go back to the hospital for 3 weeks, and then get out and be home for 2 days. And so I was admitted for multiple reasons, for suicide attempts. I've overdosed maybe 5 times, probably more than 5 times, probably more like 6 or 7. But, and I was cutting really bad, and it was terrible, and the hospital was awful. It made me even worse than I was before. But today is, hold on, let me see the date. May 19th of 2014, and I'm 21 days clean, and I feel great. I mean, every day is a struggle. I think about self-harming every day. I'm like, do I want to cut? And the answer is usually yes, I do want to cut, but I'm able to tell myself that it's not worth it, and for me that's progress, because before I wouldn't even stop myself. I would just immediately give in, but now I can talk myself down, and I'm really proud of myself, and I just hope that other people who are struggling with self-harm learn that they're worth it, and that they're beautiful, and life is a beautiful thing, and there's so much that you have left to do. Even if it seems like you've done it all, there's something more to do. There's something more, and you just have to stay around to experience it. And you don't want to let a blade or a knife control your life, because you're worth so much more. And yeah, so that's my story. It was pretty short. I hope I didn't bore anybody too much, but the message is, it does get better, and I hope that people can realize that.